used to be a reality TV producer. This is part two of Who Pays for What. We're talking about cast trips. As you see it on the show, the way a cast trip happens is that one of the cast members gets this idea and decides that everyone should go. In reality, that's not what happens, obviously. Cast trip is often something that's being planned as soon as pre-production starts. So depending on budget, they would be looking at probably like a domestic option, an international option, depending on what they have. Also doing is reaching out to hotels and places to try to get what's called a trade out. Trade out is where something like a hotel would give them a big discount or free rooms or free something in exchange for mentioning their name and showing some signage on the show. So, as a rule, shows generally won't promise this to just anyone because one, it's an ad on the show, so they maintain its value, but also like might want to cut a scene. So they wouldn't give it to some random restaurant because one, it's not worth the money, but also like they might not want to use that scene. So they don't want to be legally bound to showing that restaurant. So anyway, sometimes the crew is staying at the same place as the cast, sometimes they're not. Again, it just depends on the trade out and budget and what's available. So that's how a cast trip is planned. They find a date that everyone can go. That's why the invite scenes are always so awkward because they all already know where they're going. Like, think about it. You need to get a group of 8 people to a foreign country. Like, you need to know they all have their passports. You need to know they all have childcare for that time. You need to know they all can travel. Coordinating that takes quite a bit of time. For Salt Lake City, it just happened to be over Mother's Day. There's no reason behind it, I don't think, other than that just happened to be when everyone was available. During the season, it might be early on, it might be later, it just depends. They will decide who's going to own the trip. So, obviously, something on like Salt Lake City, Angie's the one who's going to own the trip to Greece, even though Angie probably doesn't have a lot to do with it. I would say Angie's role in that is probably that she's getting sent stuff to kind of approve. So, she's working with the producers to understand, where they're going to stay, the kind of activities they're going to do, and they're working with her to make sure that she's on board with them. But Angie's not actually paying for anything that's happening. There are certain things on shows where like production will give them a budget. Some of these really luxe parties that the housewives throw, production's not paying for all of that. So they'll give them a budget and then it's their event, and then whatever they want to pay on top of that, they can totally do. I'm going to do how to spot a trade out next. Once you see it, you'll never unsee it. So follow if you want to watch that.